We were, yeah.
We're pretty close to the
this,
end of the game.
Yeah, we were going to this
We're
long
like
enough.
one mission away.
I forgot to mention that we're at the HQ of the people who make all our shit.
Speaking of Ratchet Clank, look at that green egg thing on the like rail, like to the left or behind you.
God, screen tearing is bad.
Is that that egg shape? Oh man, what a ripoff of Sonic. So anyway, we're gonna talk about the importance of trends in video games.
Okay, but either way, like we're at the HQ. The place has been selling us all of our shit. Like that's what we're going around in.
Yeah, you talked about that earlier.
Wait, this is the final area? So this is the one you said you made
no, this is like the this isn't the final area, but like this is a.
Was this the gauntlet you were talking about?
It was kind of the final gauntlet is on the first planet we started on, which is like that. The first level is the final level, but completely revamped. I believe like.
That's an epic concept. When has
that
ever been done in a video game like other than that? Because it has been done.
Like. I feel like not many games have actually
Halo.
done that. Like the the starting area is the final area.
Yeah, they did do that in Halo CE.
Okay, actually, there's the start of that over there.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even remember for sure if they did that,
like,
but it kind of sounds like they did. This game does fit
into that spot where like it came out after a lot of important things. It came
Yeah,
out before a lot of important things.
And it innovated a lot of stuff too.
It is important, so it's just like it is like the importance of trends and the evolution of games is an important topic. With this game specifically, it's kind of just hard not to bring it up.
Yeah.
What I like about this game is that it kind of innovated a little by implementing shooter elements into.
Yeah.
Because like Banjo-Kazooie technically had like its little FPS segments.
Yeah,
but that wasn't the same. That wasn't the same deal. Where this is just the actual combat of the game.
Yeah,
implements
and actually,
guns.
this game's combat did further get inspired by the success of Halo, because Sony wanted to cash in on that too. The future games onwards are more focused on the sort of shooter elements, honestly. Like they're still platforming, but it's less of a focus and more on the.
Whoa.
Okay, I just saw it there.
That one hung around for a little too long.
It becomes more on the element of like using the gunplay, but like it's still like the platformer aspect, but there's just more gun combat, and the third game does get a little bit stifled in its like design layout, because like some of the levels are just like actually the multiplayer maps they had when they had like an online service for like a short time.
You know what? I will admit, obviously this game's not like generic, and it does have its own unique personality. I think the only reason I said that was because the first time I ever saw Ratchet Clank was like in a PlayStation All-Stars type thing, which is kind of like a knockoff Smash. So I always thought of him as just like a knockoff type of character.
Well, here's the
he
thing.
never looked like interesting to me.
At this point, Ratchet is a generic, basic game. The only thing that makes him unique is that there aren't very many other. Not a lot of his competitors survived. Jak and Daxter was finished. Everything else was finished. Like all these other games stopped being made.
Yeah, it was just Insomniac making a new IP.
You're saying they were finishing around this time, or like later?
Finishing around like when
PS3 era.
PS3 era, when Ratchet Clank started becoming
its like fifth installment.
When it started to become more stale, the rest of the genre just kind of disappeared anyway, other than like Mario.
So
that's why Ratchet and Clank didn't disappear.
No, they
stayed around for the most part until the PS4 came out, basically.
Yeah, they stuck around, but it became like they changed the gameplay a bit towards again more focused on the gun combat just a little bit.
I feel
and they changed it to where like it's more about like having a bigger narrative experience, because again like other bigger narrative games were happening. There's a whole video on like like these games dev history. When it went to those future titles, like they shifted everything heavily, mainly for the bad, because like this game, what had it made unique was it had like a bit of personality to it. Again, the world building they gave it, where everything's very like snarky and a bit cynical.
And the characters had like slow arcs where like Ratchet starts out as kind of a selfish prick, but by the end he's like getting along with Clank, and then as the trilogy goes on, he becomes like an actual like hero.
Yeah, well, because he becomes hero after this game, and then afterwards it's like kind of dealing with that fame, and then
like goes to his head.
Still, a little bit, but like Clank's actually there as sort of like the guy, like, look, remember the mission, okay? Yeah, he's anchor. And he's like, yeah, he still wants to do good and, kind of keep that hero thing. It's probably because of also Quark, because Quark is like what he could be if he, he just focused more on like the hero stuff and like the fame rather than, actually being a hero. Because that's Quark's whole arc. But this game actually had arcs and a character development over the course of the games, they weren't just the same one-note protagonists all the time. Like, they actually did evolve in, like, sometimes smaller ways, but, like, other ways, like, other times big ways. But the point is, with, like, these games that, like, they tried mixing narrative and gameplay, and, like, even Jak and Daxter tried mixing narrative with gameplay, but their narrative went for a more, like, darker, like, sort of, like, grittier tone, because that was just the thing at the time, was, like, people were going for more of the darker and, like, moodier stories.
Is there, like, a double jump you could use for the rail to get over those 2 bombs?
Sadly, no.
You're just supposed to hit everything and then
Yeah, and I think
go
I jumped
where
too
you
early
just
on
went.
that. But either way, like with these games, these were innovated and they were inspired and innovated by, like, you know, everything becoming an FPS, because the reason these stuck around a little more was because the gunplay was very reminiscent of, at the time, other, like, FPS games, because, you know, it's an FPS game, but it's also a fun platformer with, like, unique weapons and all that, and that's kind of what gave it staying power, because its design was more around having unique elements on top of being a shooter game.
I think what probably killed this game was, like, The Last of Us and stuff. As detached, as separate as that is, I think when that came out, everybody was like, okay, kids' games just stay on Nintendo.
Sony was all about making, like, we need cinematic experiences, and that's why with this, like, Ratchet Clank came out on PS5, while the game is really good, they focused a lot more on the cinematics, and again, they blended it really well to where it pretty much looks and feels like a movie at times, but, you know, there's still more gameplay to it. It's just, you know, it has a very good visual presentation. And even with the PS3, that's what they were going for, and that's why that game focused more on having visuals. I kept getting the door. Like,
I just figured it died because, like, Sony has a lot of, like, first-party stuff that they make, and so they just move on from the last ones
Actually,
they
no.
made.
They were wanting to keep Ratchet Clank around because they didn't have that, because, you know, they wanted stuff that would show off.
Think
the power of
about like what
consoles.
Microsoft has for it, or like Xbox. You got Halo.
Well, Microsoft's a different scenario because
can't
of how
think
they
of
had their
other
whole thing set up. Because Microsoft out the gate was
Nintendo, you got Mario. You don't need any more than Mario.
Well,
Yeah,
the problem with Microsoft is they actually don't have anything, because now they're releasing games on PC.
Yeah. So I'm saying maybe maybe Ratchet and Clank died off because, like, they have so many mascots, they just keep moving on to, like, new stuff.
That's not the case actually, because, like, they had because I hit that switch. That's not the case actually, because they had other mascots, like they had, like, Sackboy, Little Big Planet. They had, like, other stuff being made at the time. They even still had, like, Sly Cooper runs. They're making a Sly Cooper.
Well, yeah, I was just saying because, like,
it's more the aspect that with these games in particular, because Insomniac was, like, so popular with Sony, they were the ones they went to first. Were like, okay, can you make this, like, a game that will, like, show off the PS3's, like, potential? And that's what Tools of Destruction was, and it came at the cost of focusing on gameplay and also narrative, because they had to make the narrative seem more cinematic to coincide with the more, like, at the time, the grander sort of, like, scope of the world. And, like, the more cinematic experience they were trying to get, they had to, like, change the story.
I was just saying, like, with DJ's point about how The Last of Us probably killed it off, it's kind of like the last PlayStation All-Stars had Ratchet and Clank in it, but then, like, if they made another PlayStation All-Stars, you know they'd put, like, Joel and Ellie in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they would put it there too, because now
they
Insomniac's
move on from, like, a roster.
Well, no, Insomniac's owned by Sony now, and, like, Sony has a hand in, like, again, it was because Spider-Man PS4, but now they have a hand in, like, Ratchet
You know,
Clank,
that's
like,
probably why they stopped making Ratchet and Clank games. It's because they were making a Spider-Man game.
Yeah, they were making a Spider-Man game for a while.
They're like, well, I guess we'll stop making Ratchet and Clank games.
Well, it's also because the remake.
And then they remade it, and it was bad.
Yeah, the remake wasn't good, basically. Like, it was not good.
I don't know if Insomniac did that, though.
No, it was them. Like, it was them wanting to do that, and again, like...
It's still so strange that was a movie with, like, they made a game that was just... I mean, literally a movie tie-in game of a video game franchise. Like, that's really strange.
And it's a remake of their first game, and it's like, I feel it's because of the new direction they had, they wanted to remake the film to coincide more with it, but then they realized with the reception of that film in the game, that that's a horrible decision because people liked the original stuff a lot better, and they felt like, you know, it kind of tarnished the original because, you know, like, they went through all this effort to make a game that is less impactful.
Maybe it's also, maybe it was generic to me because I didn't grow up with PlayStation. I grew up with Xbox and Nintendo specifically, so I just don't have any. Yeah. I don't have any connection to this.
I kind of
grew
up with this game. I grew up with it because, like, my cousins had a PS2 and this game, and I played it when I was there, and, you know, I thought it was a lot of fun. But like I like these games because of just like the gameplay of like getting a bunch of weapons, like upgrading stuff, like getting all these new things. Yeah, this is difficult.
Also, I think I noticed something interesting. I think like in Mario, if you lose all your life but you're holding on to a ledge, the game doesn't kill you until your feet touch the ground, and this game does the same thing.
Yeah. So you don't die until your feet touch the ground.
I think the way this game kills you is if you actually lost your life and you landed on a rail, you would still be alive and still be able to rail grind.
Off it.
So what they do is they just remove your collision to make you fall through the rail. Because I noticed you fell through the ground, and I was like,
Well, yeah,
either the ground doesn't have collision, or it's just they remove the collision from you.
Yeah,
so it's like what kills you isn't even the bombs; it's actually just the fact that you fall through the ground.
It's because like whenever you get hit by anything, you get knocked upward. So like, and then you like just land back on the rail. So like that's why they knock you upward.
I'm saying that might have been like they might have run into a problem during development, so their workaround was to just make you lose all the collision to actually kill you.
Yeah.
Just an interesting like, if I'm assuming, but like if that was actually a thing, that'd be interesting. A little interesting game design tidbit.
Yeah, interesting game design. Yeah. Fuck. Okay.
I
have to go back. I miss a Switch.
Sections of games like this, like. Honestly, like, I was complaining about that section earlier that just reminded me of Sonic. I think it was actually reminding me of a part from... It was either Unleashed that I'd seen or a part of Generations. Those
like you
came out after.
Yeah, like...
the collisions on this.
Yeah, this section doesn't look...
It's hard to get depth perception of these angles.
Yeah, this section looks like a well-made section, just like with some issues with the visuals.
Yeah, it's like the visual plus the timing's fucked because again, depth perception's a little.
I think that's why they're putting the bombs right after a curve, so you can see where you are, kind of.
Yeah. It's just depth perception's a little hard with like the camera being like this, because like you see I'm jumping here, I just avoid that. And...
Video
game. Sound they make scares me. I'm scared.
But either way, yeah, like that was a bit of the discussion on game design stuff. Knowledge that I have learned through like studying it and also watching a lot of videos on YouTube, like those like long essays about certain franchises.
I think also like another interesting discussion was I just don't like Ratchet & Clank's design. But then I think I brought that up to DJ the first time he showed me this game because I called this game generic, and then DJ got mad at me. And then a point DJ made was like, well, what makes Mario's design interesting? He's a fucking plumber. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I don't know why his design is interesting to people.
Actually,
somehow it just works. I don't know.
Well, I do have a way of like, besides I
think it's his shape.
Yeah,
and his colors. Yeah, he's so bright.
It's definitely colors because like color schemes imply with leather, especially with like a duo like Mario and Luigi, like red and green are contrasting colors. It's why Sonic and Tails is so iconic. Like blue and orange are direct contrasting colors, but they stand out and work together, and that's why when you add Knuckles in, it becomes like a triad. That's a triad color.
Because the primary colors. Which is weird because Ratchet has all the primary colors on his body, and yet it's still just kind of like not doing it.
I think it's also because Mario's more simplistic in design. Like, there's not a lot going on with his design usually. Like, it's very simple.
Red and blue.
Jack and Daxter
and white doesn't do anything to get in the way.
Jack and Daxter has the exact same freaking color scheme as Ratchet and Clank.
That's probably
but it also looks way worse.
I said that there was like a thing where I actually used to get them confused because they look so similar to me, even though they're not at all really the same thing.
I think the thing about Ratchet and Clank that makes it better is you've got Clank. I think Clank is good. I don't think
it's a robot, not a ferret.
Yeah. Well, it's also because his personality is like kind of better. Because I played Jack and Daxter, and Daxter's very sassy. And like in the first game, he's basically your voice. Because in the first game, Jack doesn't talk, and then that's the big thing in the second game where where the baby says his first words, and it's "I'm going to kill this guy." And then he's like, "Wait, Jack, did you say that?"
That sounds like a very
spoke?
It sounds like a very Halo thing.
No, that's legit. The first line he says in that game when you save him, a couple years after this shit goes, Daxter saves him, and then like the first thing he says when he gets the restraints off him is like, "I'm gonna kill the name of the villain," and then he just fucking goes ape shit. So that's his first speaking line.
Jesus.
Ratchet just died of coronavirus.
Yeah, his minds look very suspicious. But yeah, it's like his first line is that, and it's like, yeah, you
Oh
can tell
God!
Why are
they're
why are the
pushing for that
mines-
edge when it's like that's your main protagonist's first speaking line ever is just saying how he's going to kill the main protagonist, and then
that
goes
edge
ape
is
shit.
awesome. It's like when Master Chief says,
Sir, I'm getting forklift certified.
or like the other classic line, it is. Wait, no, he says it isn't.
Oh,
Why do you think lines like that are classic? Where it's like
No, I'm making
a
fun of that.
basic response.
No, I'm
Okay,
making
like-
fun of that. I'm saying like, yeah, it's dumb.
yeah, I missed that switch. But we have to hit all those switches for something.
It's like the other classic Master Chief line. That's low-key poggers.
It's Cortana. That's what he says.
Jack Lapino was
Yeah,
crazy.
he says he has like a brain fart and he's like Cortana.
Yeah, he says, "Hey Cortana, what's the weather like today?"
Hey Cortana, divide by 0. It's just a meltdown.
She explodes, but she's like a chip in his head, so she just his head just fucking explodes.
Says
can
Cortana,
sentence.
I'm going to Taco Bell.
He says, Colonel.
Cortana, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick.
I'm dummy thick.
And they clap my ass cheeks because we're in the Bronx.
Keeps alerting the flood.
It's like, Cortana, I'm trying to do stealth in Halo, but this is Halo, so I keep alerting the Covenant.
Also, I'm dummy thick.
Also,
But that's unrelated.
also I'm double cheeked up on a.
Double cheeked up on a Sunday afternoon.
They had to build me a custom suit, because I'm so double cheeked up.
What was that? Was it a trailer where like someone insulted Master Chief or something like that, and like he walks through a weight training area for the Spartans?
I have no idea.
I saw something like that somewhere.
I hate the ads for Halo. But you get on the right rail, or yeah, I guess the left one.
If he gets on the right rail, he gets.
Well, because he could
double
just
cheeked up on
just
Sunday
jump from the right
afternoon.
one to the middle once that right one comes around. But either way, it works. All I know is that the only good ad for Halo was like the Believe trailer, and then they've just never been able to match that. So they keep trying with Infinite, and all their fucking ads for Infinite suck.
Oh, there's just enemies now. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say I think they're throwing you off because it threw me off for a second. But no, I don't remember the weight training one.
He's giving him a good old-fashioned jump kick.
Yeah, it's like I think you're supposed to smack them off, but it's just like.
Nice. Didn't take any damage.
You know,
Didn't
just-
take any damage.
Well,
You
that's
took
what
damage. Now you don't have enough speed.
Oh,
I was about-
we do.
I was about-
Oh, why?
That was actually really bad.
Ratchet and Clank.
I
Yeah,
was
like,
about to
why?
say.
Ratchet and Clank.
Did you do
Ratchet
that
gets
game?
a train run on him.
I was about to say that would have been like really bad if the
Ratchet
momentum-
gets clanked.
Ratchet and Clank getting railed.
that would be a good one.
That would be the
That actually
actual
would-
title.
that
That,
actually
that
would
could be
be
a
a-
good like iOS like Subway Surfer like ripoff.
No, yeah, it's like
Ratchet
that-
and Clank.
it's like-
Ratchet gets a penis up his asshole.
It's like fucking Temple Run, but it's just like like grind railing like on a train rail. Just Ratchet and
I
Clank
mean, this
getting
is Subway
railed.
Surfer with like the multiple lanes.
Yeah,
Ratchet and Clank, Subway Surfer.
That wouldn't be a bad like iOS spin-off, honestly.
getting
It'd be successful maybe.
That would
Getting
have
railed,
to
yeah.
like that would probably bump up its ESRB for just having the name alone.
Ratchet and Clank. Eat
Rated
fresh.
I mean, I think like the future games are all rated E10. I think.
Yeah, but it's more for their content. But even then, they tried to
What
not make it too like obvious like the innuendo. There's like tools of destruction,
Full frontal assault.
A crack in time just sounds juvenile. It's like butt crack, you know. But like, yeah, like. I mean, even something like the band names. I talked about it before. Like, it was like bros before foes and all that. Like that's one of them. Like all for one.
Wait, what's the innuendo of all for one?
It doesn't have one because they didn't want to like they
I was about to say, I was like,
No,
Stop
huh?
being double penetrated.
No, recently
stopped
they've
doing
tried-
it.
Yeah, they stopped doing it. I guess because they want to like.
Yeah,
I guess
Tim's
Tim's was more
rift in time.
like, well, because it's like no, it's like rift apart, like
Rift
rift
apart,
apart,
right.
and then
Either way, it doesn't have an innuendo.
yeah, like
Rift
all
divides.
for one, like rift apart into the Nexus is about like something plot relevant.
Into
so,
the
like,
nether
Yeah, he's
regions.
downloading
Zip up my
Nexus
pussy.
mods for Left 4 Dead.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
finally get to meet the help desk girl.
Oh yeah, we get to meet.
I hope she's
no,
cute.
We get to meet the person who's been giving us our tutorials, basically.
Oh man. Come here often?
I love that joke.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just love that.
I've been
Because Ratchet's like I thought the joke was just, haha, Ratchet wants to flirt with her. Oh, she's a robot. And then Clank's like, come here often.
Later.
I'll come with you often.
I think she likes me.
I don't know.
But now
why. I just love that.
Yeah, now basically we have
restraining order protocol.
yeah, actually now we have like a map screen when we go back to our ship, and it'll actually show us like areas that have like secrets we have yet to get. So that's basically what this whole detour was. So it's where we can like find secrets if we have not gotten any.
So Connor, what's the name of Ratchet and Clank 2 again?
Going Commando. Yeah, it's like going Commando is like, it's not really an innuendo because it's not really a sex joke. It's more like a juvenile game, like like that kind of thing.
I'm naked.
Up your arsenals. Up your arsenals.
I'm naked.
No, up your arsenal is just an insult.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Like up your arsenal is just an insult, but it's like they switch R's for arsenal because it's just close enough.
Up your ass.
Ratchet and Clank. I am a registered sex offender.
I mean, they also have like, I remember they had a PSP game called
Ratchet.
No,
and then there's a spin-off, Ratchet. I am an unregistered sex offender.
Like, I remember there was a PSP game because the because you know it was on a smaller console. They literally called it Ratchet and Clank Size Matters. And that's about shrinking. The game's actually about shrinking down, like going like microscopic in some areas. And it's like.
What if there's a spin-off where it's like Ratchet is a like a crossing guard for a school? Ratchet and Clank, child trafficking.
Ratchet Clank 17. Ratchet downloads porn mods for Left 4 Dead.
Okay, yeah, we have to go back here. Yeah, we have to backtrack a bit of a ways back actually, to one of the earlier planets. We gotta get hoverboards. Apparently, hoverboards are important for the plot. The guy who has what we need to get to like I think the second to last level is like fucking he wants us to win a race for him. But we need a hoverboard, so we gotta find the guy who has it, so we gotta go back here.
Yeah, last time Josh was saying were we 3/4 of the way through the game, and after that you said
2 hours ago?
you said like 60%, and I was like 60% is very different from 75%, but like actually how far are we through the game now?
I think there's only like 1 or 2 planets left.
We just have
we have to backtrack basically.
We
like,
apparently just have to finish up a couple things and then final layer and then back to the first level.
Yeah. It's like
I think we literally
no,
done with story.
The final layer is the first level basically.
So it turns the first level into...
Yeah, it's why I said it comes full circle. It's
basically the main bad guy introduces the first world to industrialization.
Pretty much, because it's basically it's like the first level's layout to a point, and then it's entirely different because it's like the end game. So like the area of the first level is similar enough, but also very different because it's been overhauled because the build.
The Genesis plant.
So the message of this game is basically, I'm escaping from the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space.
More the message. The message is more like everything.
The one place that hasn't been corrupted by communism. My bedroom.
It's more the end all like theme of this is like everything comes full circle because like every level comes around to the end to the beginning again from the end.
Make your mom come around.
And the entire game.
I'll make your
to church.
The entire
introduce
game.
her to the Lord Jesus Christ.
The entire game
and
like
then I'm
goes,
going to have sex with her.
I can't even finish a single fucking statement, okay? like I'm basically saying that like every level that like comes around to like the end point from the beginning, like so does this game to where the first level is the last level but overhauled because you are now way more powerful and have way more cool shit. It comes full circle.
And also I didn't wash my hands.
If you want to impress this agent,
There's hoverboard races in
I
Blackwater
need over
City.
here's
hoverboard
some
races in Blackwater City on planet Wilga.
I need to get over there some.
You had to get the hoverboard.
Oh wait, I see.
I was trying to get my riches back from Blackwater, but some weird rat-looking thing with a robot on his back hit me with a really big wrench.
Oh wait, over here actually. Yeah, it's like.
Dutch, you hit me
Hang on.
too.
Yeah, there we go.
In
Yeah,
my
this
ass.
is where we need to
Shut
go.
up, Josh.
Actually, wait, no,
Oh,
this is for
again,
Gold Bolt. But I think we can probably get.
Hello,
where we
Dutch.
What's up?
Hey, John, I have ligma.
What the hell is ligma?
Ligma balls.
Was that your plan all along, Dutch?
It was a good one.
I had a goddamn plan.
I like the way he says that in that one line. His voice like
Cracks.
It kind of cracks, but it's also like he just starts. I don't know.
It's
It's like
honestly
it's
the
sharper.
most powerful
it,
voice crack
It
you could
pierces your
possibly have.
ear a little bit.
That was the only strong voice crack that actually worked.
I don't know if it was a voice crack. I think it was just because his voice got really sharp. It just got higher pitched.
I
But I
think-
think he was doing that.
Like,
I don't think,
it sounded like he was like genuinely like upset, like enraged.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think it was just a voluntary higher pitch that he did to sharp. Like it was like really sharp. in the ears.
to die.
I did not. It was part of my plan.
I think that's actually what he says. He's like, I most certainly did not.
Okay.
You left me.
Oh.
You left me to die.
Cross my heart and hope to die. I didn't.
This agent.
Stick a needle in my thigh.
I didn't.
Continue
the
plan for you and I.
There's something over
Except
there.
for John. I left him to die. I mean,
But not you and me, Arthur. Let's have some pie.
Oh, this is not. Okay, yeah,
and then we'll go to Thai.
Yeah, this green area I've not explored yet.
Go
so
eat
yeah,
some-
someone get over there.
This
Donkey.
will help you locate where you are.
You know, I was gonna make a joke.
You
that
know,
I was-
suck my dick. This is hard.
I was gonna rhyme the word rye, but I don't know what the fuck rye is. Is that a food?
It's a type of bread. Rye bread.
Okay, I was like
Is
confused
it?
on whether that
Bread.
was like a type of
It's rye.
like if that
Oh,
was like
yeah.
a coloring.
Oh my
or
god,
rye
he was
is
right
food.
here. He was right here the whole fucking time.
See, I didn't know.
He's
If,
literally right here.
I didn't know if
behind
rye.
the ship.
I didn't know if
I
rye was a
finally
food
found
or a
this
food
sneaky
coloring.
guy.
It's him, Skid McMarks.
That man.
It's basically Tony Hawk.
Skid marks.
He's basically hoverboard Tony Hawk.
My name's Skid Marks. I got shit in my underwear like the tie-dye on my shirt. There's a lot
I
of
like
blood.
to sit in it.
Did he survive?
He's like, it's multicolored because I got blood in there too.
Okay,
Don't
so
ask.
rye bread is basically the bread you get when you go to like Longhorn Steakhouse.
Dude, that's the best kind of fucking bread. I love fucking Longhorn's bread.
Oh god, not another one of these.
See, I just didn't know if rye was a food or a food coloring.
Wait a minute, I just
have a grass.
wait a minute, I just realized that this cutscene was meant to be playing earlier, but I didn't get to him. So he was about to ask if we need info on Captain Quark, but we've already gotten through this whole thing. Like Clank was just about to say that. Like we need info on like.
Oh, so is it like a
Quark.
different cutscene?
No, there's
it's
not.
just he totally missed it.
Yeah, yeah, I missed it because apparently that guy was right behind my ship the whole time. I never got to look behind it.
So basically, the only
Wait.
the only information that Clank needs is, do you think he likes me? Do you think he has a crush on me?
It's more that we've seen him. He's Steve now.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like, would the cutscene be different or is it just playing the same?
No,
cutscene
it
that
wasn't
we play?
different. It was the same
I
cutscene
am
that
no
we
longer
played if you
Captain
first
Quark.
encountered
I go by
it.
the name Steez.
Okay.
Steve's nuts.
Steez.
Steez.
Steez nuts. Steez nuts.
I hate the fact that I had to think of that.
I'm Steve Harvey, but my friends call me Steve Harvey. Yeah, my friends call me.
My friends call me Kill.
That's just what they say when I'm around.
That's
I don't know
just
what
how
it means.
Eric Cartman says Kyle.
Yeah.
It's a powerful saying. I strive to be that at some point. Just the man who will just like shout that out in that sort of tone.
Just go out into the middle of Times Square with a suspicious backpack and scream that.
No.
See how long it's... And then your mission objective changes to survive.
No. Like,
Mission
fucking-
objective, survive.
I do think that was ever like a DM for like a D&D campaign. Just like when we get to the point like, oh, someone's about to die, just kill. Just bing, dead. Right there.
Alright, how do you want to do this? I would like to
Kill.
Are you sure? You roll the 1.
Well, if the DM asks, how do you want to do this, you've already killed them.
Yeah, they're already dead. You just gotta say like, how do you want to?
You just describe how you kill them, basically.
In the most pathetic way possible.
I would like to stick my dick in their mouth until they choke to death on my cock.
I'd like to get forklift certified while I die.
I would like to apply for a loan.
I would like to drop him in a hole and watch him starve for the next couple weeks.
Bro.
Couple. Are you sure? 100%.
Okay, your entire party is dead now.
Does this face
So
look
your party dies of
unsure?
starvation.
Does this face look unsure to you?
That face looks unsure constantly.
Oh, sweet hoverboard.
Brand
Fancy
new
tech.
Z3000. You can't even.
Oh my god, it's Z3000, man.
Gets you dudes at the hoverboard.
He's got a bail, but his ship is like.
Get you dudes at the
His-
hoverboard.
but his ship is currently like this, so
I
that
got
might be a
bail.
while.
Hoverboard.
I gotta go, guys.
Left of the city on planet
Like you just hear from inside the ship.
There's like an unused cutscene with him in like the 3rd game, but it's like not fully modeled, but the mouth reading is modeled, so basically they're all just like T-poses judging him. There's an actual cutscene that's scrapped that they found.
Now
in the
that
3rd
is the
game.
mark of a quality
It's like,
cutscene.
No, but it's like it's completely unused. You have to access it by like fucking like hacking the game.
They really didn't use such gold.
No, but it's like it's just funny. It's like I would have been there, but I sprained my ankle. But then it comes back to Ratchet, but they recorded nothing as a response, so his face is just default. So really, I mean it. Like, cause the Clank is the same way. It's just the most intimidating thing I've seen in my life.